turn my brain off.
I feel you. It's never
well, you know, you take a break in the pandemic, and then when you start feeling like, okay, I'm ready to work again, you can overwork yourself because you feel like you're at home. Just nonstop working. So I'm just sick of myself right now. Sick of myself.
I'm the opposite. I feel like I got too comfortable, and I'm like, now I'm ready to get out here, and it's like, what's out here?
Oh, that's funny. I feel like I've gone the opposite way. I was like, well, I'll create what's out here, and now everything's virtual. And I'm like, I don't want to have any more events. Sorry, I have a 7:30 that I have to send a Zoom link to, and I'm being
understandable. I want to make sure we get you done.
I appreciate it.
I only got a few questions, so it's only gonna last about 15 minutes, honestly, I think.
Okay, that's perfect. Then I will chill on this because that's not till 7:30. I could send the link beforehand. Oh, I said I was gonna set up my little thing.
Because I want to make sure I got it right. Let me hit a link to make sure you can just use Paintball if you still have to let it use Wednesdays. You can add logos in the edit. Okay. Okay, cool. You in here? Because I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Listen, Zoom is life now.
I know. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just into this. It's like, ugh. Because I'm like trying to get away from social media myself.
Really? Are you an introvert or extrovert?
Very introverted.
Really? Okay, I feel that. Yeah.
Like, I love people, you know what I'm saying? But from a distance.
But stay over there. I love people, but stay over there.
Stay over there. I love you over there. Like, it's like, you know. And then, you know, I love it when we do finally get together. Then it's like, yes, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah. But also, no,
like,
in no way.
I understand both sides, but I'm like, you know, this was perfect for me type of thing. But now I'm ready to get outside.
Yeah, I think that's we lasted a little bit longer, the introverts, but then when it hit us, we were like, oh, I guess we do need a human connection.
Right.
Look at that.
I guess I do need people.
Who knew? Who'd have thunk?
So it's funny because we low-key started and I didn't even introduce myself and say what this was.
Oh no, I love a good conversation.
I knew this was gonna happen with you. I was like, oh no, we're gonna start talking and I'm gonna forget what we were doing in the first place.
Absolutely. You already know.
All right. So hello everybody. My name, well, I go by the name of Sugahlipz.
Hey, Sugahlipz.
This is the first episode of Sugah at Nite. Vibes in the City collabed with Newark Arts Music Festival. So we're chilling here. We're going to chat it up with a few queens that are very near and dear to my heart. They've come out to Vibes in the City and, you know, show some love. And we want to make sure we show our love back to these queens. So we're going to ask them a few questions. So if you've been listening so far, I've been talking to my dear friend Whisky in the city, all the way from DC.
Hey.
Whisky, introduce yourself. You know, if someone hasn't heard you or know what you do, please explain what you do.
Oh my God, that's becoming a long
I know.
I am ridiculous. So I'm Whisky Girl. I started off as a spoken word artist and got really heavy into mental health advocacy. So now I do kind of like speaking engagements at healing events. I'm all about Black girl healing. I'm all about, you know, holding men accountable for their BS and how they, you know, contribute to our toxic mental health issues. And then I just launched a women's network last year to help local artists kind of get off the ground with their branding and starting their own like businesses or creative brands. So yeah, I'm kind of doing the most right now.
And you have to. Oh my gosh, like it's good. it's really inspiring seeing a lot of artists switch it and really get going, like get a charge out of this quarantine situation.
Yeah.
I really get inspired by seeing it. You know, it's hard for me, but seeing it be done knows it can be done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really inspired, you know. I see you, Whisky.
Oh, I'm sure everyone sees me. I'm so sick of myself on social media. I'm like, do you really have to post it?
And you do. Or nobody's gonna see it.
Well, you realize that there's a special way to not care for real what people think about you. And once you start taking the steps to do that and to be okay, then your relationship with social media changes. And it's kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna post it. And if I'm getting on your nerves, just unfollow. The people who like it will like it and engage, but it's my job to get this information out here. I feel like I'm, you know, sent to heal. So I'm gonna do this regardless of who's watching. So I might as well just, you know, keep going and do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, somebody's always watching. Someone's always watching. Always. You're inspiring somebody.
Well, I read that it takes 11 times getting something in front of a person before they commit it to memory. And once I realized that, I was just like, ugh, if you want to promote your stuff, you really got to saturate people with it. So here it comes.
You do, exactly. Take it all in. So who are your biggest influences, or what? Who or what?
Oh my God. Well, so I would say kind of for me, what motivates me is I enjoy observing people and being around people. So usually when it comes to other artists, I kind of pick up, or I ask myself, what do I like kind of about their art? And I kind of think about how I can incorporate it into mine. As far as influence and inspiration, I feel like there's supposed to be like a cliche answer or something, but really it's just it's an emotional dump for me to get this stuff out. It's part of my healing process. And I guess my influence would be like, I want to be clear-headed and good to raise my babies to be like strong women who are clear-headed as well. So I guess my influence or drive for this is kind of like doing this for them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But so the influence of other artists and stuff, I've just like launched out on all this stuff so unconventionally and like recklessly. I wouldn't even put that on nobody to say, you know, I'm influenced by them. They'd probably be like, we're good.
So where do you get the hype? Like, where do you get the hype to create in all of this? Like, where does it come from?
Well, when quarantine first happened, I actually shut down for a while. I was like, I feel like I just need to focus on like making sure the household's good. So I just kind of was like, I don't know what this is, and I'm not going to rush my creative process. But then I think as time continued on, I realized that above all else, artists need to connect. And then with that, artists have a very serious purpose, especially in trying times. I think in the world, it's up to us to express what everyone's feeling to help us all emote. So I'm very purpose driven. So once I realized there's a purpose, a high calling and purpose for artists right now, I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this shit. So, you know, now I have like virtual sister circles through my women's network, one for moms and one for, you know, just women who are struggling with anxiety. And we do kind of yoga and stuff. So it's kind of like just ways to keep people connected, keep artists connected, for us as artists to look after our own mental health so we can continue to like feed into the world.
Okay. Yeah, because I know during this quarantine, we've had so many people. I know it's the same with you. Have had so many people like, when you coming back? And we're like, we're coming. We just want to make sure, you know, we're following the precautions and all the guidelines and everything. So it's just like, we're trying to make sure everything's safe, but we definitely have to keep going type of thing. Like, this has to keep going, whether it be virtual or in a small crowd. Like,
and virtual sucks. I'll be honest. I think virtual's weird. It sucks. I like to connect with energy that's in the room, but it's kind of just like, this is where we are. So you either, eat or be eaten.
Exactly. Exactly. Because somebody's going to make diamonds out of your trash. So you got to keep going.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's hard for artists because we always feel like we're the underdogs, or that we're battling social media or capitalism or other artists who are, higher up. And it's kind of like, to keep the momentum going, you just have to keep creating and finding ways to post to your avenues. And I know it's discouraging, but like, a lot of people are discouraged right now. It's the whole pandemic. So just like, fight through the tears.
Right? Put it to your music. Like, you gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. I'm telling you. So what's your biggest challenge as an artist?
My mental health. Dealing with managing my own depression and anxiety, and then kind of like, as an artist, you're performing in front of other people, and then the work I do is very personal, and I have to deal with being an empath, soaking up other people's energy, and when people connect to my art, they kind of want to tell me their story, and stories be sad sometimes, and I want to hold space for people. But also, it's a lot to take in, and it kind of weighs on me, on top of me managing my own. So I really have to do a lot to stay on top of my mental health to do this work. Like, some days it's hard for me to leave my room. Some days, I just don't have it in me. And, I was having a bad day today, and you guys were like, hey, you want it? And I was like, but when I attach it to purpose, it inspires me to keep going. But yeah, the major thing that I know is always going to be a struggle for me is, like, dealing with my depression, dealing with my mental health.
Right. Yeah. Same with me. Like, it's a struggle, but you gotta kind of like shake yourself up and go.
And thank you for saying that, because Black women do not be trying to associate with depression or anything negative. And usually it's like, I say something and it's crickets and the atmosphere changes, but like, it's hard to even say that that's a thing, especially because we're Black women. We're supposed to continue being strong and just keep going. And it's like, I'm gonna keep going, but y'all gonna know it's hard.
Right. You gonna see
y'all gonna learn today.
No, but I'm gonna cry too.
Right. And I had a struggle with that, because I feel like everyone perceives me as like the strong go-getter and stuff. And I'm like, no, in everyday life, I mean, I'm sitting there crying through tough conversations. I'm super emotional. I'm always flustered. I have anxiety. Like, I'm glad that people perceive me that way. But I came to a point where I had to separate from people's, thoughts of me, and kind of like keeping up that facade and be like, well, what works for me? And it's kind of like, well, I'll always give you a dope show, but I just might be a little anxious beforehand. I'm just showing up authentic is kind of what I'm referring to it as. And it makes it tough with dealing with it, mental health issues, but gotta work.
But I feel like that's why people love you so much, relate so much, because they do. And there's a lot of people aren't able to say it. They're going through it. They probably don't understand it, type of situation, and don't know to put a name to it.
Yeah.
So just hearing about it and talking about experiences on it and everything, that I know that helps a lot. A lot of women. I know for a fact it does.
I appreciate that. That keeps me going, because it's kind of like, depression for the sake of depression is boring. So, at least, there's a purpose behind it. And I know that not everybody wants to be transparent about it or talk about it, but I feel like if I'm an artist and I'm kind of like gifted in being able to help people connect to their emotions, then that's a huge calling I can't ignore, because I wish somebody would have helped me figure this shit out.
I say that all the time. Like, oh, where was I when I was 21, 22?
Right.
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 I could have skipped a lot of stuff, but you know, we go through all this stuff for reasons, you know, to be at this point where we are, to say that we are still here. We had to go through it. We had to go through it. Had to go through it. So what do you see for yourself in the future? Like, it could be near, if you have a far goal or anything like that. What do you see for yourself?
I love this question because that has evolved over time. You know, being an empath, I don't pay attention to how much I absorb of what other people say. And I had this conversation with a woman who was very similar to me. And we just had, like, I didn't know her. We had a great conversation. And she was like, well, I feel like if you went into full-time artistry, it would be a desperate thing for your art. And it would be a struggle for you. And I was just like, true, you know, because we were bonding. I was like, yeah, she's right. I could never. And then lately, like, putting together all these virtual events and just seeing how my mind innovates even during quarantine, I was like, okay, I think I want to get on a plan to, like, do this for real, because it's not just poetry, it's like the women's network and the mental health speaking. So I accidentally kind of built this brand that's like, okay, maybe I could, like, sustain a paycheck at some point. So I think, like, maybe 5-6 years from now, I'm trying to really branch out on my own, because why not? And I don't know why I keep thinking that it's not an achievable goal, but I think it's about we kind of look how celebrities have their upward trajectory, and we think that's the only path to get there. But if you think about, like, slowly building an audience of people who support what you do, it's a slower route. But for me, it's more meaningful because I'm all about, like, I guess, gratitude. So since I've been practicing gratitude, I've been like, oh, maybe I could do this full time. So in 5 years, the hope is to have, like, a successfully up and running women's network, and to still have my speaking and poetry gigs, and to kind of use all that to run my own thing. And I don't have to call off sick for depression days. I can just be the CEO and not show up.
I am sitting off today.
Who gonna check me? Anybody?
Exactly. Who gonna check me, boo? For real. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have. So now we ready for them to show you, for you to show them. I'm sorry, for you to show them what you do.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't performed in forever. Okay, yeah, I thought about which one I wanted to do, because I've been doing the same poems over and over, right? But I think, especially during this time, when it's hard to connect with people, that we shouldn't forget how much love comes from ourselves and how important it is to love ourselves. And it sounds gimmicky, but really the deep love, and for me, that's been a whole journey. So this is like my little self-love letter that I wrote for myself. And I like to recite this one so people can kind of tap into, like, hey, like, love yourself radically just as you love other people in romantic relationships and stuff. Take care of you. So this is self-love letter. If I can remember, I'm so embarrassed. You are going to waste away forever waiting on them to love you. Waiting on them to appreciate what it is that you have to offer. They are going to scoff at your transparency, laugh at your sensitivities. They are going to want what they want, and they do not want you. They want uncomplicated, not unhinged. They want sexy and coy, somebody worth it to chase after, not you, not your basket full of damage and disaster. Baby girl, they do not want you, but I do. Come out here to me. Bring me your broken and your bitter. You don't have to whisper of your worth. I'm sold. I am your highest bidder. I am invested in your flaws. I forgive all of your mistakes. I am the one thanking God that he made you this way. I have your poster on my wall. I am so much more than your biggest fans. I've lost my voice countless times cheering you on from the stands, and I wear your jersey. Your smile is tattooed on my chest. I vow to be the one to always love you best. You are enough for me. I just want to repeat that. You are enough for me and perfectly complete. I love you a million times as wide as the gap between your crooked teeth, multiplied by the count of every single stretch mark, out of every stupid decision and every unnecessary broken heart, and the math would still not equal the amount of air that fills my lungs when I see you. I breathe you. You are life to me. I want to prop a mirror up and watch with eyes wide open as you sleep. I want to move inside each of your steps and fall in sync with you. I am madly in love with you. And I'm finally ready to shout it to the rooftops. You know, that pain you've been surviving with, I can make it stop. Oh, how I crave you, who you are when no one else is around. The same you, a little anxious when surrounded by crowds. The same you with faded eyes can't seem to put those brownies down. The same you engulfed in melancholy. The same you who drowns. The same you who contemplates razor blades sideways or down. Baby, they will never understand what it is to love you in the ways that I can. They will never know what it is to make love to you using only these bare hands. Baby girl, they do not want you. You are too broken. You are too blue. Baby girl, they do not want you. You are not thin enough. You are not the right hue. Baby girl, they do not want you. You are too much naked truth. Baby girl, whiskey girl, they do not want you. But I do. I want you and all the blemishes on your skin, inside of those jeans you can't quite get your hips to fit in. I want you after days without a shower, no deodorant. I want you even when you are exhausted and spent, beaten down by life, distracted by sex and drugs. You never have to fret or worry that you are unworthy of love when they reject you, when they don't mess with you, when they ridicule all that you are. Remember, you forever reside in my sky. You are the shiniest of stars. You are the sun plus the moon. You are all the planets. I couldn't have made a better you. Even if I had planned it, you are more than everything. You are my enough. And there is nothing that you could ever do to mess this up. Baby, I got you. So relax. Live your life abundantly. I'm the only person in this world who has the power to truly set you free, and I love you unconditionally, sincerely, me. That's that piece. And thank you for doing the awkward, like, audience of one, virtual. You better do it for the camera. You gotta be like, yes.
Yes.
I love it.
That's one of my favorites. Yes.
I appreciate it. Listen, I feel like every Black woman should write herself a self-love letter, because there's so much on us, there's so much pressure on us, and we're under the microscope, and it's kind of like, how do you see yourself? And hold to that, even the bad things, even the good things. Hold on to how you see yourself, and that's your foundation no matter what comes at you. So that's really kind of my protective thing to get my self-esteem back up. I take a couple blows.
Right. You be like, okay, I forgot who I was for a second. Real quick.
Right. Just bring it back to me.
Yes. Do you have another one? Did you have another one?
Do you want another one?
Yes, please. I was told one or two, so I need that one or two.
Okay. I'm gonna do this one with the understanding that my kids are in the next room, so I think this is hilarious. So hopefully they're not listening in. But I think on the other side, I'm going to plug my women's network at WGBN Network. And because there's self-love and it's all a cycle, but then when you're an artist, you kind of have to get over your imposter syndrome. And this was kind of, you know, written about me getting over my imposter syndrome, and I just want to dedicate this to the artist because that's what this is, like keeping going. So this is called Drag Your Nuts.
I saw that and I'm ready for this because I was like, yeah, I gotta hear that one. Like,
because my kids are so little and they're probably like out here listening to me. Like, so okay. But this is my life, just juggling. First, I want to give a shout out to the underdogs. The ones who started fighting before they even knew their cause, the ones who had the balls to believe in themselves over the naysayers, haters, in the form of your little poetry. Or you are not quite ready for that feature, God forbid a nigga teacher, like we on the same team and shit. Like, maybe because you Black, I just want your ass to win. Listen, I bleed this pen, and I don't need anybody to tell me that my story isn't good enough, that I need to change my name and not cuss, and definitely not talk about pussy, clutch your pearls because your girl ain't afraid to let you see her fragility. See, I tell your stories. I talk real shit. I get in deep. I weave the right amount of pain into these words to set you free, or I can be downright nasty, grasping at your inner soliloquies and broadcast through microphone like on television screen. You need me. I belong on this stage as much as I need the air to breathe. As much as I need to write a whole chapbook whenever a nigga decide to leave, as much as I have to fight off my depression and cling to something that I believe, as much as I'm compelled to torch the world and leave my babies a legacy that they can be proud of, even when niggas assert themselves as if they've been commissioned from above to block my blessings, I finally build a wall of protection and I stop saying yes to the things that no longer feed me, like fake smiling and chopping myself down into bite-sized pieces. I need this rhetoric to stop, that outspoken bitches aren't the right kind of women. Ignore her and maybe she'll be chomping at the bit to fit in. I've been Black sheep since Jinko jeans and pimply forehead days. And while a bitch gets tired of having to pay her own way, I made the damn table, so guess who's gonna sit and stay a while? That's right, I am dragging my nuts now, and I suggest you do the same. You'll go insane trying to fit into that small ass box they try to give you. I don't wait for no signals, I just move. Niggas really act like hate is gonna stop you from doing the shit that you were called to do. Like no double tap, no follow back gonna fuck up your groove. Like no eye contact at the poetry shows is gonna make me turn my nose. I'm the flame, I don't match energy. Good vibes is in me, and you don't know what this life has taken from me and mine. I've battled demons, bitch, I don't pay you no mind. And you can feel what you feel or learn what the fuck is up and drag your nuts. When they go low, you go high, but you still give those motherfuckers the side eye. Why, yes, I am high, and I walked up in this bitch, all tits and ass and thighs. I'm all belly and awkward Black girl laughter, but I bet you'll be asking after me once I blaze this stage. Don't hate. You don't know the things I had to go through to get me through this phase. I'm talking foot on necks. Command your respect. What if I told you that you don't have to wait around for their permission? You don't have to wait in any lines to get in. You just don't let them catch you not picking up that L and turning it into a win. Don't let them catch you low chin, fake grin, shucking and jiving, strong wind blows. You better not bend. Temptation, touch tip nose. You better not sin. You in the trenches. You in the throes. Ho, you better not end. Life has knocked you down and you have felt your sadness. It's time to get the fuck up now. This is woman stuff. It's time to level up. You gotta learn from all those precious alpha males. You like to suck, do it rude, do it ugly. Don't be afraid to let it be dirty. You are so worthy of this come up. It's time to put on your big girl draws and drag your nuts. Love doing that piece.
Yes.
It just cheers me up so much.
Yes.
My kids are probably like, what the hell, mommy?
I don't know what it is about balls, but it's always something about balls but it just gets the point across. Drag your nuts. Like, I love the whole message. Like,
it's so funny, like something I didn't even notice that I was doing, but early in my art, I started surrounding myself by like, you know, male figures who like move a certain way. And I was kind of like learning. And like, as I have a business partner, a business poetry partner, and he just kept saying like, you gotta stop doing this nice stuff. You gotta stop, like, just drag your nuts.
That's true.
So I'm like, okay,
people
what does that look like?
To nice. People don't listen to nice. You gotta just say it. Say it. And then people start listening. I got your attention. Now you're listening, and now you're actually gonna hear the message. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. And I feel like when it comes to like healing and stuff, I feel like an obligation to be nice. I want to be nice. But when it comes to boundaries, you can't do the nice stuff because people can't handle it.
Exactly. You have to act accordingly. I always say act accordingly.
Right.
We gotta act accordingly. All right. That's all the questions I have for you. So we're done here, but I want you to make sure you shout out everything. Make sure, you know, get your plugs in.
You got time?
Hey.
I thought about this because I'm always careful about like giving too much information. So the major thing I want to shout out is that there's a virtual Black Mental Health Summit happening on the 13th. That's the day after Colonizer Day. And it's free virtual registration, and I'm hosting the Poetry After Show. So if you want that whole experience, you can go to hillcrestsummit2020.eventbrite.com, and everyone can register. That's going to be super fun. And then I'm just going to hop to the important stuff. My main page is at Whisky Girl DC. And if you look in the bio link, you can see the link for my Patreon. Patreon is like OnlyFans, but it's for nerdy writer girls. I'm doing a whole healing blog series. I'm talking about, you know, new poems and new projects as I release them. And I'm sending free giveaways to those who pledge at $20 and $30 levels. So this is one of the things, my little branded mug. But that's patreon.com/whiskygirldc. And then there's my women's network for people who just need some encouragement while starting their own businesses or want to branch out on their own. It's mainly for creatives, but we work with everyone. We talk about anxiety and mindfulness and getting out of your own way and into your dreams. So that's at WGB Network. So you know, that's a lot. We get
Awesome. It's awesome. Like that's it, like I said, especially now, it's needed. I was just talking to my best friend. I'm like, some type of therapy needs to be done in some shape or form because nobody wants to get out. So everybody's kind of stuck inside. So it's got to be something online that everybody can benefit from. You know, women, men, children, everybody needs, you know.
Man, woman, boy, or girl.
Everybody needs to talk right now, you know. It's a weird change for a lot of people. And some people can't take it. Some people can't take it.
Well, I mean, what's ironic is that I would be chilling. I would really like want to hunker down and just focus on my family, like what I got going on. But it's like, okay, I definitely, my empath picks up on the need. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, like I said, there's plenty of stuff to check out, and I haven't figured out a non-clunky way to say this, but like if you invest in me, you're investing in the arts community, because I believe in paying it forward. I believe in everything I do relates to mental health or helping other artists. So I used to be like humble about like, oh my God, everything's free and blah blah blah. No, you can pay me, you can shoot me a Cash App, you can, because everything I do is purposeful. So I don't mind begging for money now. So
Right? And I don't even see it that way because you do pay it forward, you know, you support everybody else, you know, why not support? Everybody just support each other. Everybody has to support each other.
Exactly. And you try to set things up so that when I win, other people win. So it's not just because, especially like when you ride your wave, the big worry is that you're going to become such and such and leave people out and become hoity-toity. And I'm like, no, I want us all.
But
So
all of us, I want us all to win. Right. I want us all to win. I want us all to win.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. I think we're going to end on that note.
This feels good. It's so good to see you. You look amazing.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this. I know this was last minute.
Oh, I'm always, you know what? In my women's network, I tell the women, like, you always have to be prepared. You always